Welcome, and also those joining online and everywhere. Welcome. Today's session is on becoming lighter. Who's here for the first time? You're here for first time. Some on Zoom may also be. Anita, maybe I still do it from here. Might be better today. My name is Rona, and this meditation center has been here since 1996. And I've been studying, practicing meditation with this institution, the Brahma Kumaris. Is the sound okay? Or is it go? For 30 plus years. And the institution offers courses in meditation, classes, lectures, workshops, mini retreats, full-blown weekend retreats in the retreat center upstate, with the aim to help people discover the power of their own mind, the power of consciousness, and also to introduce this technique of meditation where there is broader awareness of self as a spiritual being and your innate qualities as a spiritual being. There's a whole world to discover if you have that interest. But tonight's topic is on becoming lighter. Lighter in the sense of free from burdens, free from sadness, free from sorrow. And normally, when we encounter problems, normally when we feel burdened, normally when we feel stressed or anxious, mostly the approach is we try to change our external circumstances. We try to change maybe work or working conditions. We try to change people. We try to change the environment. We try to change somewhere, something outside. And if we can't change it, we at least put the blame. Today we will explore a different approach to becoming lighter, becoming free from burden. An approach that usually is not so much focused on, because we hardly ever pay attention to our attitude towards life, our attitude towards situations, our perspective on situations. If there is a problem, there is me and the external situation. But often we try to change the external situation. And sometimes we may be able to do that. But we can also change the other side of the interaction, and that is me. And maybe there is an internal approach that we have to things and to people and to life that burdens me or that enhances the burden. Is there something that I can shift in my perspective, in my attitude, that maybe makes it different, or maybe makes it lighter, or maybe allows me not to go into a feeling of heaviness or seeing it as a problem? Normally, we position ourselves in this world as if we are here, and as if things are here, and as if we own things, as if we have a right to things, as if this is me and this is mine, and this is how I want it, and this is how I desire it. And if it doesn't match my desires or expectations or what I perceive as my needs, then there is a mismatch and there is a friction. And then there can be burden and anxiety. Now, is there another way to position ourselves in this world? Not as someone who belongs here and owns things and can expect things and demand things or desire things. Is there another way to position ourselves in this world? Question? If you position yourself as a guest in this world, if you position yourself as a traveler in this world, if you position yourself as a student of life, learning, is a different approach than an approach where you expect or demand. And if there is the perspective, the inner attitude of a guest, for example, you don't have so many expectations. And you surely don't feel this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. I'm just visiting. And everything is temporary. And just to explore and to experiment with this consciousness already makes you free, freer. For example, you came in here, you had no expectations. Maybe some expectation there will be guided meditation. But you did not feel anything here is mine. This is a big thing. If it is not to my liking, I will just go. Or even if it is to my liking, after half an hour, I will go. Or after an hour, I will just go. Internally, you are free. But if you come here with the desire, oh, at the door, they will stand there with, what is it, a tray with cookies and juice. And there will be whatever, some other expectation. They will offer us cake later onwards, and people will be doing this or that. If I have a mind with expectations, I'm making myself vulnerable to be disappointed. And say they don't have cake, but they have coffee. Still, I will be disappointed because I expected cake. If I have no expectation, what happens inside? I come here and I have no expectation. I am free. Everything that happens is extra and is like a gift. They give coffee, that's nice. No coffee is also nice. Cake, nice. No cake is also nice. Because internally, I'm not carrying that expectation or that desire or that need. And so, if I am not carrying that expectation or much less expectations, then I will be lighter. And I will be much less, there's much less chance that I will feel disappointed or burdened or, what is the word? Disillusioned. Now, is this possible to have this approach, this mental mindset of a visitor always? Can we do that? No? Why not? Why not? Huh? We live in the modern world and we can do everything, but internally we can At least experiment with this. And this is where the spiritual model comes in. This is what the practice of meditation helps us with, is to not be so entangled with things that I do. But it begins with a deeper reflection on who I really am and what this world is all about. And one simple way that we use in the Brahma Kumaris is the understanding that we are human beings. And there are two parts to this word. Now, the human part, I can't draw very well, so please don't take me too serious on that. The human part is the body, and there are things around the body, the people, your family, friends, colleagues, your acquaintances. There is there's your money and job, and maybe a house or an apartment in Manhattan. Very few people have house. Your car, your social network, your cell phone with your YouTube and your Facebook and your Instagram. This is the human part, simplified, with your hobbies and your culture, your language, your nationality. But there is a being, and we use the symbol of light to indicate that one who has awareness, one who is experiencing all of this. And the being has a mind, intellect, intel, double L, I don't know now. Sorry, intellect and impressions or tendencies or habits. Those are within the being of consciousness. And that being of consciousness is the one who gives life to the body. Normally, we forget this. We think of ourselves and we use the word I for just this. This is me, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is what I want, this is what I definitely want. Our mental activity just revolves around this. But we forget that we are that living being of consciousness, giving life to this body, playing this game of human life. And so we come to the awareness of ourselves as the being of consciousness, and there are many names for this: soul, spirit. There's not so much about the word to use, but to understand there is this invisible experiencer who's giving life to this body. And when the experiencer is not there, this body is corpse. Corpse doesn't say, oh, I like cake, I want this, I need more money, I love you, I hate you. That is the experiencer expressing through the body. Body is the tool. Now, when we become aware of these two parts, body, the human part, and the being, more it becomes clear that all this is temporary. And all this is changing. and it can change anytime. It doesn't ask your permission to change. Even the body, today, tomorrow, anything can happen. All of this is temporary. But whether the body is small, a baby, or whether the body is bigger or older, the one operating the body is the same. The inner being, the living light, the soul. And the soul, within the spiritual understandings, the soul transcends the limitations of the body and transcends the body itself. So the soul existed before the body took shape and continues to exist when the body finishes. So soul is a guest in the body. Just like a car, you go sit in the car, you are not the car. And you can get out of the car also. You use the car, you go to upstate New York, travel some 4 or 5 hours, but then you get out of the car. You're, in a real sense, you're a guest in the car. You're using the car, there's comfort in the car, and you're having maybe fun, listening to all kinds of things. But you are not the car, and in the car, you are a guest because you've come in and you will go at some stage. In the same way, simplified, this perspective on self as pure, free being of consciousness, using the body to play the game of human life. But all of this is temporary. Yeah. Sooner or later, I will go. And this will not be there anymore. So we are guests in this body and we are guests on this planet, even. But even though we are guests, and even though we kind of know this, we still like to say me and my. And think that certain things here are so important. What's deeper inside, we know. Things don't last. And we use these things to give ourselves sorrow and burden. I'll tell a story, an anecdote of a mother who came to the meditation center, not here, another one, with her 2 children. Jillian must know the story. A boy of 6 and a boy of 4. And she comes for the meditation course, but that center has a room with toys for children. So she brings her 2 children, they go and play, and she does the lesson. And so when they come, the 2 boys go in the room, they see the big one sees a truck, a play truck. So he runs, he grabs the truck and he says, Mama, 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 my truck. I like this truck. I want to have this truck, my truck, my truck. And mommy says, it's not your truck, but you can play with it. But you can't have it. So he starts to cry. I want this truck, my truck. The little one, he goes and finds some cars and some train and he plays, and the little one is happy. But if he goes and touch that truck, even his brother begins to scream. So he plays with his own things. So a whole hour goes by, the little one playing, enjoying, the big one sulking in a corner with his truck. My truck, I want my truck. So after 1 hour, course is finished, mother comes, takes them. The little one is happy, jumping, had a nice time. The big one is a fight to let him let go of the truck. And he's crying, and all the way out, he crying and fighting with his mother. My truck, what happened? I want my truck. You're no good mother. I don't love you. All kinds of drama. The little one is happy, jumping, had a nice time. Big one, same, same, miserable. Now, is there any difference between adults? We are adults, no? Is there any difference between us adults and these two little boys? Our toys are different. We have different toys. What was the difference between those two boys? Yeah, one not necessarily rationalized, but attitude is of the guest. He's there, so many toys, he can have a good time. He doesn't need to have, he doesn't need to say mine, he can still have a good time. The other one, it's to own mine. And so he misses out on a whole hour of playing. He misses out on a whole hour that he could play with his brother, with other toys also, that they could play together with that truck. And later on, even after they have left the center, he's still crying and fighting with his mother. Difference is attitude is different. Now, if we want to be lighter in general in life, it might be useful to experiment. And this attitude, one way that it is called, it is detached involvement. You are involved, you're playing the game, but you're not into the mood of getting stuck to it, wanting it. Mine, 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 mine. Play with it, do your best, use your skills, enjoy it. But today, tomorrow, it is not there. There are other things. Today, tomorrow, this whole thing might not be there. And so this attitude towards problems usually is because we approach situations with this ego or with this mode of attachment. And others or the external situation, I might not be able to change that. But if I can drop my attitude, I can be lighter.
May I ask a question, Sister Rona?
Go ahead.
This all just makes a lot of sense and feels very simple. But the question is, you see, generally the perception about being a guest is for a short period of time. It could be a day, a few hours, maybe a few days. But when we are here means on this earth, we are here for a longer period of time. Approximately, we say 100 years and all. Holding the guest consciousness or awareness in that perspective in that way for such a long period of time, what is the anecdote for that? Because that's where we fail often.
Yeah. This is where the power of the intellect needs to be nurtured and held, because the our perception of time has become so limited. No, and in truth, there is no difference between 1 hour of playing with toys or 10 years playing with toys. You have come and you will go ultimately. But we are deceived by time because we have not used our ability to see the bigger picture. And we have created a society that is after quick, instant sense gratifications or pleasures or quick fixes, which is nothing wrong with a quick fix if that is applicable. and if that is possible. But there are many things that are not like that. And we still need a broad intellect. And for that, we need wisdom, not information, wisdom. And to hold this bigger perspective, we need to nurture it. This is why meditation is useful, regular, and some input, constant reminders. You know who take benefit most of this? I do. Because this reminds me every time I take this, it reminds me to hold a bigger perspective. And that we need because we have created a culture, we have created a society that does not remind us of this. It does the opposite. And this is why we are deceived. Because even if it is 100 years, this body still, you have it on loan. It is not truly yours. It belongs to nature. It belongs to matter. You use it. You're the only one using it. Fine.
So one more question, which, you know, people sometimes when you're sitting with others, it comes up and they express it this way. Are we tricking our mind this way? Because it's training your mind. But are we trying to trick, or this is more than that?
Trying to trick our mind. But even if we do, if it makes me lighter, it is still better. If it makes me lighter, it is still useful because it gives me more clarity. And it makes me suffer less because I feel there's no virtue in suffering. There is no virtue in headache of burdens. There is no virtue in sorrow.
Yeah.
So if we can have a different mindset and a different perspective that frees us from heaviness and burdens and puts us in a position where we are able to play the game instead of suffering, I think it's still worth it. You can call it whatever you want, trick of the mind. I don't feel so, but even if it is still more clever
Yeah.
than
No,
the position feeling burdened and suffocated and overwhelmed and stressed out and anxious.
yeah, the one way I look at it is that, you know how athletes train their muscles? It's
Mm.
like they don't have capacity when they start, but they build it by practicing every day for hours and hours. So this is like building a spiritual muscle.
You could say like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It,
So
maybe a more popular way is you're strengthening your intellect, you're strengthening your wisdom, you're broadening your perspective on life consciously. And we know this is true. Just we forget. We know there is a beginning to this and there is an end to this. We just don't like to think about it. But we know it is there. But maybe it is more useful to think about it and to take a certain conscious position about it and explore that part of you that is not temporary, that part that is timeless, so that you do not get trapped and stuck in things that are temporary and stuck to the truck. My truck, my truck. I want my truck. And what I like about this anecdote is he likes his trucks, he wants his truck, and he can stick to his truck, but he deprives himself from the experience of the other toys. And he deprives himself from playing with his brother, even with the truck. Because anybody approaching that truck, he gets scared. Oh, they want to take my truck away. But at the end of the story, you will have to leave the truck right there. But we need to stretch our intellect, our mind, to see the implications of this story in the bigger picture. And repeated reminders, because our mind is dull, our intellect is our intellect has become so locked. Yes, we can be graduate from some university and we can have a high IQ, but the wisdom to deal with everyday life situations and the wisdom of our own true identity, we are clueless, I think. I'm talking about myself and how my own journey is, but I think it applies to many of us. And then we suffer. Why? Okay, if there is no option, but there is option. We don't have to get into this ego and these attachments and dependencies and then think that is my whole world and I cannot be without. There are so many other toys to play with. Can you see how we do this to ourselves?
Yeah, yeah.
And we have created a culture and a society that reinforces this.
Yeah. I was also thinking, when we talk about burdens, non-physical ones, immediately a lot of people can think about, oh, I'm carrying burden in my heart, in my mind, some anxieties. And I was thinking, we
Some people
miss,
even
yeah,
romanticize it.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. But
I don't
on
know.
a day-to-day
What
basis,
virtue is there in suffering?
but often we miss out.
I'm wanting to be disrespectful because I know we suffering is real, but much of it we can alleviate ourselves by taking a little different approach to it. That is all I'm trying to say. I'm not wanting to be disrespectful or uh, what is it, making fun of suffering, but
But sometimes, not even sometimes, I feel often we miss out the burden we carry of our old habits.
yeah,
Habits. We are just so
yeah,
stuck to it and we don't think it's a burden, but we are dragging our enthusiasm, energy, everything down with it.
yeah. Yeah, no, I see this very clearly in myself. And habits, not only physical habits, but thinking patterns that we are stuck in and that we feel sometimes even feel justified to have, but they put us in a jam and we create our own jail inside. And then we blame everybody else and the weather and or whatever. But okay, there may be reasons also, but the reason that I can address for myself is in me. Anyone here want to say anything? Anita is very active in questions. Challenging. No, it's good.
But I was thinking people do want to ask these questions and they're not
Yeah.
asking. I'm asking
No,
on
but
their behalf.
why you're asking on people's behalf?
I already got two messages.
Okay, good. So, to begin to shift our sense of self from this, move towards this. That is a very good beginning. To begin to, and this is, of course, where meditation comes in and is very useful. To withdraw your attention from the external and to begin to explore the understanding that you are this invisible presence, the invisible being of consciousness that gives life to this body, the invisible experiencer, the one who creates thoughts, the one who has feelings, the one who carries memories, all invisible things.
It's like so it's
The sense organs give information to the mind. Yes, that's true. Yeah, but we can be subservient to that information, or the impressions that come at us, or we can be a master of the mind. So, for example, somebody comes in and wears a yellow t-shirt. The mind can say, okay, yellow t-shirt, very nice yellow t-shirt. I also want a yellow t-shirt. It will be useful tomorrow. I need to go to some event. I can use a. So the mind then continues to think about what that information that came at me. And I was busy talking to all of you and with you. Now my mind is there, yellow t-shirt, and traveling and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts and thoughts. That means I'm not master, not of my sense organs and the information coming in. Whatever the information is that comes in, that then begins to rule my mind. Master of the self means I observe yellow t-shirt. Thought comes, yellow t-shirt, but I don't have to allow a second thought to emerge based on that t-shirt, or a third, or a few hundred. That even in my dreams, I dream yellow t-shirt. I don't have to allow that. I can. This is the role of the intellect to discern. Should I allow these thoughts to continue or not? Are there other things that are more useful to think about? And in meditation, one thing that happens is you start to exercise the power of your intellect to choose what thoughts to hold and what thoughts not to hold in your mind. First of all, we have many, many thoughts, and most of those thoughts are absolutely useless. They have no implication of what you are doing right now. Most of them. So you're exhausting your mind for nothing. So if I am becoming more wise and more internally oriented, I can use the strength of my intellect to say, this is not good mind management. Why to allow it? We see something, we think about it. We hear something, we think 5 times about it. We smell something, we want to think about it. We are slaves to our sense organs. We don't have to be. Nothing wrong with the sense organs. Use the eyes, use the ears, use the nose, use the mouth, use your touch, but not as a slave. Just step back and say, these thoughts are absolutely useful. Yellow t-shirt, nice. But I come back to what I was doing. Then we become the master of our mind and of the body also, of the senses and the things around the body. They say now the mind, sometimes there are these images that they show the soul as if in a chariot, and the chariot is, what is it, handled by horses. So these senses are like horses. And one horse go that way, one horse go that way, one horse go that way. And so the soul and the chariot, the body doesn't know what to do. What to do. But we have to come back. We can come back and say no. I can decide what to think, what not to think, where to go, what not to do, and what to do. And the same way with problems, with situations. Sometimes a situation happens, and that situation happened 5 minutes, but we think about it 10 hours. So 5 minutes becomes 10 hours in my mind. Big impression is there. We don't need to do it like that. Want to say anything? Now, We can look at life, no? We can approach life as a guest. We can also look at life in different ways. No? Some people look at life as a battlefield. If that is your conscious and subconscious understanding of life, you're always in the fighting mode. You can look at life as a school. If you look at life as a school, then your attitude is of learning. And every situation you use to learn something and to enrich yourself with the situation. Now, is that true? Can we learn from any situation? If someone insults you, can you learn anything from that? Not to be angry. Well, our present day for most of us, our reflexes, we get angry back. Or we get sad. Somebody insults me, we get angry, or I get sad. Another approach is this is a test. Life is testing my power of tolerance. Life is testing my power of patience. Or even more in the direction of holiness. Life is testing my power to love. Or, at the very least, life is testing me to remain calm and peaceful and not take it personally. Someone who is insulting has pain inside. So he's expressing his anger and his pain. Why should I go and stand and take it and make it my own? Not very clever to do that. It is maybe not common this way to deal with situation, but it might be more wise and it might be more liberating. Life as a school. Another way to look at life is life as a game or sports. And when you do sports, what happens? And for example, tennis. When you learn tennis, what happens? You get a ball and a racket and you play with a wall. So you hit the ball and the wall hit back. You have to hit and the wall hit back. But it becomes very predictable. You kind of know when it's not that. So the next step it happens is you play with a human being. And they are not like the ones. They will hit some more difficult and more difficult. And then the next step is you play with a stronger one, and a stronger one, and a stronger one, and a stronger one. Life is like that also. All levels of what is it? Opponents in this game. There is a cricket player, Australian cricket player, who was a pitcher, a fast bowler. And this was in the 19s, but he was also like a truck driver, a bit rough, tough, big, strong. And he was known for his fast bowling. And his opponents feared him because he was so fast, the ball used to go so fast that they didn't even see it. So many used to get head injury and things. So one time he came to London for some games, and they interviewed the team, and they interviewed him too, and they said to him, "You don't feel bad?" He said, "Why should I feel bad?" He said, "Your fast bowling is injuring so many people." He said, "Why should I feel bad? I have ball, use it. They have bad, they should use it." I do the best. They have bad, they should do the best with the bad. And a good batsman actually uses the energy and the power of the bowler. Because if you hit the ball at the right angle, that same speed goes the opposite direction and the same effects also. And the batsman doesn't even have to use much of his own energy and strength. He has to be clever. Now, in this game, life throws you many balls. You have to use your bat, otherwise, you get head injury. And your bat is your intellect, your wisdom, and
In the form of burden?
but we don't use it. And then we make the ball a burden,
Yeah.
but we have to use the bat. Use your wisdom, sharpen your intellect, refine it through wisdom, through understanding, through these kinds of discussions, through reflection. Unfortunately, they don't teach us this in school. But what they teach us in school is useful, but we need to educate ourselves also about these things.
In some spiritual communities, the thing that I have found sort of frustrating is that there's this concept of like, take whatever life gives you. And I think that there's this openness to the play of life. But teach at this school is also this sense of inner empowerment that you are capable of leading yourself in any direction you choose. So I guess I'm trying to piece together both of those mindsets. It's like, how do you navigate the world and accept what is, and yet at the same time understand that you have the power to make change?
Maybe not change the world, but change your attitude towards it. That power you have, and that right you have. But it is not something that just comes to us. You need to, like I said, the television or so will not inspire these things. You have to consciously make an effort to be open and receptive and also to study, I feel. Not study school, but study these kinds of knowledge. And yes, there are different spiritual communities, and I think there is benefit in most of them, or if not all. But not all of them have the same aim, also. You also need to know you have to align your aim or see if your aim is aligned. Okay, anything else? Want to add anything? Then I'll just add one more thing and then we can do meditation together. Simplified. in general, our model to life, to self, and also to life. And this is worldwide. This is not specific to any culture or any religion in general. Our model that we carry consciously, subconsciously with us about ourselves is I am born at a certain moment in time. This is my life. And at some point in time in the future, there will be end. And I am born and I'm nothing and no one. We might not say it like that, but that is how kind of is our mental programming. And we become someone by what we achieve, by what we get. No, we get a body, we get a family, we get a we get the what is it, a culture, a language, an education, what we can acquire, what we can achieve, what we can receive. And if we cannot acquire or achieve or receive, we take. Hmm? And our sense of self and sense of value and respect for self is formed or is even based upon what we can achieve, what we can own, what we can get, what we can take, what we can deserve, maybe even work for it. And so our sense of self is based on all these acquired things. And that is why we dread this moment, because we will feel, we subconsciously, we will lose all of this again. And I will go back to nothing and no one. It's very simplified, but this is kind of the mindset. And this is globally. In most cultures, if not all cultures, this is the positioning of human beings. The spiritual positioning is very different. The spiritual position is you are forever a spiritual being and you are innately divine. You are innately a being of peace, of love, of purity. You are timeless, immortal being of consciousness. And you exist beyond the body. And so at some moment in time, you go and play the game of human life, and then you get associated with the body. And then there is what the soul enters in the womb, when the fetus grow in the embryo. So the moment of conception and then the moment of birth, you get associated temporarily with a body. But this is who you are. This is just invisible. And then in that association with the body, you get exposed to the physical world. And then there is a name, and there's position, and there's people, and possessions, and all kinds of things and experiences. But when this ends, you still remain that divine, peaceful, free being of consciousness, the soul. You just go on with the journey. This is a temporary experience. And it doesn't define who you are beyond the experience. This mindset frees us. This sense of self frees us from getting entangled here too much, getting into some ego or some silly hype and attachments. In this mindset, you can hold that detached involvement. You're playing the game, and you're playing it with all your skills, with all your abilities. Play a good game. But you're always aware there's an exit, and that's fine too. Experience changes. This or this. Now, this is all very nice, but it is only useful if you play and experiment with it yourself and begin to see the possibilities. But in any case, it is always more sensible to diminish your burdens. And if an inner attitude can free you or make you much lighter, it would be useful to experiment with that. Because the external world is increasingly more challenging and is increasingly changing and changing unpredictably. So it actually is calling on us to up our game. Okay.
So
Yeah.
the one world is a way of, it's an attitude.
Yeah.
It's not like, it doesn't necessarily have to be reality, but there's something.
It may be reality. It may be reality, but even if it is not, it is still more it is still more useful to live with this framework than with this framework. But the more you practice and play with it, you might discover things you did not know before or did not see.
Before we go into meditation, can we invite them for the mini retreat? Get a grip on worry. It kind of syncs with today's topic.
Yeah. I think it's August 30th, isn't it?
Yes, it's August 30th.
30th. There is a mini retreat on a Saturday, August 30th, from 10 till 2. Get a grip on worry. And we will explore a bit more different things, but also more practical and infuse more meditation exercises, periods of meditation in it. And you're most welcome. And you're most welcome to bring some others too. Okay, so let's close with some keep the body comfortable. And just take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. And while allowing the body to inhale and exhale, become aware of yourself as the one who is experiencing the body and the bodily sensations. There is a heartbeat. There is some tension maybe in the shoulders. You are aware that the back touches the back of the chair. Who is the one who is having this awareness? The inner being, the being of consciousness. Who is it using the eyes to see? Who is it that makes sense of the information coming through the ears? It is the being of consciousness, invisible, but we can use the image of light to indicate. This being of consciousness is a temporary guest in this body, sitting behind the eyes, using the eyes as windows. And just for a few moments, fill your mind with this awareness of being light, a being of light. And the body is the vehicle. The living light has come in the body as a guest. We are visitors, even on this planet. We don't truly own anything, so we cannot lose anything either. We can just play. Try to grasp this sense of lightness and freedom and timelessness. Back to that innocence and that stillness of just being light. And as we continue with this journey and with this game of human life, maybe we can aim to play more with this awareness of a guest. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.